The Dalasi, commonly known as the Gambian Dalasi, it's a unique and peculiar currency used in the Gambia as a medium of exchange. The Dalasi has a long-standing history back in 1971, where it's emanated from. The Dalasi compete those days with the dollar, the pound sterling, and other hard currencies. The Dalasi was defeating the CFA and other local currencies within the sub-region. In this video, we will uncover when the Dalasi started, how it started, where it started, and we will tell you a lot of different histories with regards to the history behind the Gambian Dalasi. The Gambia, it's a full-fledged country, gained its independence in February 1965, and the Dalasi came into existence in 1971. But the Dalasi, as time goes by, lost its value, and then it's not competing in the international market just like the way it used to do some decades ago. But now, the million-dollar question is, where does the Dalasi got it wrong? Why does the Dalasi lose its value? Why is the Dalasi not competing in the international market as it used to be? Why is the Dalasi not competing in the CFA? And why is the Dalasi not even doing well in the local and international market? We will uncover all these details in this video. But before we got into the video, let's first and foremost talk about what the Dalasi is. The Dalasi is a currency used in the Gambia. It's money. But what is money? We have to know what money is, and we correlate it with the Dalasi. Now, money can be anything which is generally accepted as a medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value. Now, the Dalasi, it's a legal tender, meaning it is generally accepted in the country, the Gambia, as a medium of exchange. People use it for their day-to-day transactions, financial transactions to be precise. Now, it is a legal tender simply because it is backed by the law. It must have been passed through the National Assembly, which must have endorsed it to make it a legal tender. It is now generally accepted. Now, if a Dalasi is given to you in a form of trade or any transaction within the geographical location of the Gambia, you have to accept it because it is backed by law. Now, if I should ask you to show me the Dalasi, I want to see the Dalasi. How does the Dalasi look like? You will show me this, this, and this. But then in details, how does it start? We will go into the video now. By 1880, the silver coins, mainly in the form of French 5 pieces, were generally in use. In 1892, the African Banking Corporation was established in Lagos, and one of the functions of the bank was to supply West African countries with new British silver coins and repatriate redundant silver coins to London. 2 years down the line, in 1894, these responsibilities were passed to the Bank of British West Africa. In 1912, a committee was set up. The committee became the architect of the currency board. They examined ways of establishing a more unified currency and to decide a future policy. Although a penny, a 1/10 of a penny coin, had been issued from 1907 and a half penny from 1911. However, the French 5 franc silver pieces still dominated in the Gambia. In 1913, the 3 penny, 6 penny, 1 shilling, and florin coin were in use. At the end of 1915, the committee that had now become the West African Currency Board revised and enlarged its constitution to provide for a note issue. The proposal was put forward that currency notes be issued to each and every colony, but that this should be under the authority of the currency board in London. The notes were to be uniform designed, but bearing the distinguishing mark of each issuing office. This constitution was remained unchanged until 1949. An order was thus placed with the London printers, Waterloo and Sons Limited, for 2 shilling, 10 shilling, and €2 banknotes. This entered in circulation in the Gambia. towards the end of 1917. With the exception of the 2 shilling notes, the reception was generally favorable. The following year, when a 1 shilling note was printed by the Bank of England, it was also found to be as unpopular as the 2 shilling. In 1919, the 5 euro note was issued and withdrawn after 4 years due to its unpopularity. Until 1954, that this note was reissued in the Gambia again. In October 1965, internal self-governance came to the Gambia, and on the initiative of the West African Currency Board, an order for note was placed with Branbury Wilkinson Company Limited for 10 shilling, 1 euro and 5 euro notes. These were put into issue only 4 days after the new currency ordinance that formed the Gambia Currency Board came into existence 1st August 1964. 21st November 1966, the Gambia Currency Board issued its own coinage produced by the Royal Mint to replace the West African Currency Board coin. The values remain unchanged, although the 1/10 and half-penny coin were not in circulation. An 8 shilling coin was subsequently struck in 1970. In 1971, the assets and liability of the Gambia Currency Board was transferred and vested in the Central Bank of the Gambia. That same year was a turning point for the Gambia because the famous Gambian Dalasi came into existence. The Dalasi was decimalized on the basis of 1 Dalasi equivalent to 100 bututs. The coins were minted by the Royal Mint. The notes of 1 Dalasi, 5 Dalasi, 10 Dalasi and 25 Dalasi denomination were printed by the Branbury Wilkinson and Company Limited, with the royal effigy being replaced by the portrait of His Excellency Sir Dawda Jawara, the former President of the Republic of the Gambia, both on the notes and the coins. To commemorate the 10th anniversary of independence in the Gambia, a new 10 Dalasi coin was printed in 1975. The Dalasi, since its production in 1971, it was doing well both in the local market and international market. The Dalasi was competing international currencies like the pound, dollar, pound sterling, and within the sub-region, the Dalasi defeat most of the local currencies of local residences. Some decades ago, the foreign exchange rate was favorable to the Gambian Dalasi. Example, 1 pound was equivalent to 5 Dalasi. That is why till date, the 5 Gambian Dalasi, it's commonly called pound. That was because those days, the 5 Dalasi used to be equivalent to 1 pound. But now, the question one should be asking is, why is the Dalasi losing its value? And why is the Dalasi not doing good in the international and local market like it used to do so many years ago? There is a problem and there's a missing link somewhere. Not only the Gambian Dalasi lost its value in the local and international market, but the Gambian Dalasi, it's competing with other currencies within the Gambia. Like, take a stroll or a drive to the interior part of the Gambia. You will begin to realize within the geographical location of the Gambia, you will have other countries' currency being competing with the Dalasi in the local market. Like going towards CRL, URL and some part of North Bank, you will begin to realize that the CFA, it's competing with the Dalasi in the market. Buying and selling, financial transactions happens both in Dalasi and CFA. That is a blatant demonstration that shows that the Gambian Dalasi, it's amounting to nothing. But yet again, where does the Gambian Dalasi got it wrong? What is the problem and where does the problem lies? Our economic experts and financial experts need to rescue the Dalasi before it perished, because inflation is gradually chipping inside the Gambia, and then it is making the Dalasi almost redundant, not needed in some part of the world. Of course, again, the Gambian Dalasi has a problem and it needs complete restructuring. It needs to be rebuilt again. It needs to have its past glory. It needs to come again and start competing in the international market side by side with other hard currencies. Just like the way the CFA and the Ghanaian cedis is doing in the international market. The Dalasi can regain that glory again. But then our policymakers need to redouble their effort and give the Gambian Dalasi its past glory. What do you think could be the reason or reasons why the Gambian Dalasi is losing its value continually? Drop it in the comment section. Together we can build the Gambian Dalasi. Together we can have the value of the Gambian Dalasi back to its original state.